We're back with a Fox News alert. Mercenaries leaving Russian military headquarters as the Wagner Group's leader reaches a deal with the Kremlin to end its march on Moscow. So let's take a look at the Wagner Group and some of their key players. You have Yevgeny Prigozhin, who is Prigozhin, excuse me. He's the chief in the face of the group, the one we've talked about the most, who held the nickname Putin's chef after organizing catering for Kremlin events. He met Putin back in St. Petersburg when he was the mayor there. We're thick as thieves, and he's run the operation. He's the one that's put out the videos and the statements about what they're doing next. But a lot of men behind him, and one of those is Dmitry Utkin. He's an operational commander who many believe is the co-founder of the organization. Probably not a guy you'd want to meet in a dark alley, just saying. Andrei Troshev is another name, is said to be the operational leader and chief of staff, orchestrating operations across Africa. Remember, this is not just a group operating in Ukraine. Putin has used the Wagner Group around the globe to push Russian interests. A guy like him was probably maybe keeping the schedule for everybody. And Konstantin Pikolov is believed to be operating much of the Wagner Group's ongoing operations across Africa. I'll just point you to that logo. That's a logo that says, "We do death and cause problems." And these men have done it pretty effectively over the years for Vladimir Putin. Their future right now, very unknown. Here to discuss is retired Brigadier General Anthony Tata. Joins us here. General, thank you so much for being here. I don't know if you could, how familiar you are with all those names and those faces in that group. A lot of them new to us here. We're not pretending to be experts on the Wagner Group, but help us out on this organization and what you can speculate about what the future might be.
Hey, Pete, good morning. Great to be with you. I know the group fairly well. When I performed the duties under Secretary of Defense for policy, we monitored this group. They're in Africa, Syria, around the world, really, and they're brutal. All four people that you mentioned right there are former Special Forces soldiers, except for Prigozhin, of course, who, as you mentioned, met Putin when he was mayor, deputy mayor, and ran his own he ran a restaurant, and now he's a billionaire oligarch controlling one of the most significant 40, 50,000 person strong private military contractor groups in the world, and was quite frankly disgruntled as the others were with the Ministry of Defense, and so turned his guns on the MOD more than he did on Putin, who's his friend, actually, and Lukashenko. And I think Lukashenko and Putin got together and said, hey, we've got a mini Berlin Wall moment maybe happening here. We need to sort this out. And they snuffed it out pretty quickly. And we have to ask ourselves the question, while many are cheering on Putin's dilemma, we got to remember there are 3,000 nukes in Russia, and a destabilized Russia is a problematic place to be.
General, we've been trying to dissect this. Everyone is. I mean, you can't get behind the curtain completely. But do you think that's more or less what this was? A, disgruntled general. He had a lot of his men killed, set up for a mission they weren't equipped to execute, dissatisfied with the Ministry of Defense, thought he took a risk and he had to back down. I mean, what do you think is the source of this?
Yeah, so Pete, Prigozhin has been telegraphing his dissatisfaction with the Ministry of Defense, the logistics, for months, 6, 7 months. He's been on social media making statements saying they're incompetent, they promised me ammunition, they promised me food, etc. And so this could very well be he's a billionaire oligarch, and he's boots on the ground in Ukraine, and it could very well be him taking it to the Ministry of Defense and saying, hey, look, you're all corrupt. I can do this better than you. I am doing it better than you. But let's not forget, he is a brutal slaughterer, and Prigozhin is no better option than Putin. And so it's a real dilemma here that how do we untangle this? And from a U.S. vital interest standpoint, how do we keep visibility on the nuclear weapons? And really, during this chaos, did Ukraine exploit the operational weakness that Wagner unplugged its line in Bakhmut? Did we exploit it?
Yeah, you tell me. It doesn't appear so thus far, but
no, it doesn't.
There's still time for things to play out. General Tata, thank you for your time.